live. All right, shalom, shalom. We're the brothers from the Great Millstone Camp in Charleston. All right, this is weekday live stream. We're gonna go into America and Rome. Just the similarities between Rome and America. Brothers have went into it. Brothers have spoke about it. But we just want to give, what we know, what we have on it. Lord willing, is edifying. All right. So without further ado, we're going to give our praises to Yahweh.
Our side.
All right, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to brothers pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. All right. So on to the hopeful elect. I see the elder Not Zakwa is on there. Shalom to the elder Yahweh Shemiah Shabbatah. Yahweh Shemiah Shabbatah to everyone. All right. So one of the similarities that, through the spirit that was coming to me, Slaki, one of the similarities that through the spirit that was coming was the similarity between Donald Trump as Nero, all right, and a lot of brothers, the elders and apostles, they believe Donald Trump to be Nero from the past. So just like in camp, we brought out what was it? Nothing new under the sun, Ecclesiastes. Right. Yeah. We brought out Ecclesiastes. Can we get that real quick? Just as a refresher. That the Lord is making things, he's doing things in stages, and those stages repeat themselves. Why is that? It's because in the scriptures, right? Can we also get the scriptures? Basically, it says the scriptures were meant for our learning. Can you get that, brother? I'll be right back. Slap. All right, so Lord is allowing us to go through these things repetitively, or he's repeating the same events over generations. And that's how you understand that the Lord is in charge, and not things don't happen just like how people say naturally. People say naturally these things happen. This is the nature of the world. But who created the nature? Was it not the Most High? The Most High created the nature, and these things happen in his timeline, the way He wants it to happen. We got Ecclesiastes.
All right, this is Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun.
That's right. There's no new thing under the sun. So what has happened before is going to happen again. All right. What happened in Rome? Rome being America, and this being part of that beast that was healed. Right. And that was Rome. Rome was that beast that was mortally wounded to death, right, so to speak. But America is that beast that was healed, man. So
can I read this in the NLT too?
You got it, bro.
It says Ecclesiastes 1 verse 9 in the NLT. History merely repeats itself. It has all been done before. Nothing under the sun is truly new. All right, and the reason why history repeats itself is a simple fact of reincarnation. or you have the spirits that were back then, which are currently here today. All right, and you have a lot of people that don't believe that reincarnation is biblical, but it's written throughout all the scriptures. And you can see the correlation of the ancient Roman Empire back then to now through the architecture. The brother named one, Nero, which the elder apostles believed to be um, Donald Trump.
Mhm.
I mean, just you got the Colosseums, the different arenas, the UFC. You got all type of correlations that America imitates in ancient Rome. I just say that real quick.
That's right. And I want to get the scripture in Revelation to back up the point of America being the extension of the Roman Empire. So with it being the extension of the Roman Empire, the same traits that happen are the same things, events that happen in Rome would happen here in America. That's just how the Lord is spiritually doing it, so that we can see in the future. All right, the prophets are able to see in the future through prophecy. All right, that prophecy in the events of the past that happen, so that we can get out the way when judgment comes. This is all to get out the way of the Lord's judgment. Right? What's that scripture saying? What is it? We always read it. Zephaniah. Before the decree bring forth.
Yeah.
The decree is the judgment. We gotta get out her way. We gotta get out the Lord's way of putting this place to a eternal, how to say it, eternal rest. Because America, Babylon the Great, this place is gonna be destroyed and never inhabited by anybody again. All right, it's gonna have an utter destruction. And the people that's in it, you either get saved or you're gonna be destroyed with it. All right, so this is Revelation 13:1. It says, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns." So the 7 heads would have been the original provinces of Rome.
It's like
What's up?
Greeks, the Romans, the 10 horns going into.
No, you got it, bro.
Yeah, no, the 7 heads.
The 10 horns going into the 10 vassal states of Rome.
Yeah.
Right? The 7 heads. What's the 7 heads?
The Greeks, the Romans, Germany Major, Germany Minor.
Right.
Spain, and I want to say Britain.
The original.
Yeah. Slovakia.
You got it,
bro.
You got it, bro. You got it. It's all good. The originals. All right. Pardon my phrasing. The 10 horns being the 10 vassal states, which is, or the races of people, the Gauls. What else?
I got to look it up, but
okay. But basically, Rome ruled over those that land, and those land was occupied by those people. All right, we don't have a list of it yet. The brothers looking it up. All right, and they had 10 crowns, which they were all 10 powers, 10 kingdoms. All right, and upon his heads, the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and a great authority. All right, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. So America is coming back as that same beast being healed. And all the world wondered after the beast, and they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, who was like unto the beast, who was able to make war with him. So now this beast is your NATO in the EU. That's the beast now. And back then, in the Roman period, there was a basically a NATO and an EU back then. That was the seven heads and 10 horns. All right. So the NATO and the EU was the was the was was given the power. All right, was the military was given the power to the NATO and the EU. This is how they established their sanctions. Their let me see, the elder. He put a comment on the comment board. Let me see if I can read that real quick. All right. Oh, that's the brother from the GMS Truth in Orlando. Shalom, bro. Yeah, how about you? Shalom. All right. Um, so this is how they established their power and dominance in America. I mean, in the world, because this is a world power over again, coming back into power over again after its deadly wound was healed. All right. Um, verse 4, and they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who was able to make war with them. So this further proves that it was the military might that was giving them power. Their military might gave them power because nobody else was able to contend with them. Verse 5, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. We're in that time right now. We're in a time right now. We have Democratic Party. We have, different political parties. Let's see. Oh, Salakia. Let me read that part again. And it was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. So that's America Babylon the Great with their policies, not the political parties, but their policies, okay, and their laws, right, and how they govern the people. So, and that was Rome back then. So we're trying to make the correlation between America now and then Rome back then. All right, so that's the connection between Rome and America back then. Mainly the deadly wound being healed. What you got, bro? You got it?
No, I cannot.
It's all good. Don't worry about it. That's all good. What you got? Can you go into the Yale article that we searched up? Actually, can you get your portion?
Yeah.
So this biggest thing is what's happening right now. What's happening right now is Trump is being indicted. He's in jail. Has he gotten out yet? Do we know?
Not that I know of yet.
He's in jail, and right now that would go back to the Roman times when Nero was being persecuted of the Senate. All right, Nero wasn't your normal politician. Just Nero had fame among the people. And Trump, he's not your normal politician. He has fame among the people. And the way he rose up was uncharacteristic. Same thing as Nero. It was very uncharacteristic. But Nero was he was a royal. but the way he rose up in the power was uncharacteristic. So that's the two similarities between Nero and Rome, and also the persecution that the Senate had against Nero. So you see that the normal politicians, they don't like Trump because Trump tries to do things differently than they want to do things. But also, we gotta understand that this might be controlled opposition. Even if it's controlled opposition, it's going to move towards the Lord's plans because the Lord is the ruler in the kingdom of men. Can we get Daniel 4? Brother Omar? I think he froze. Hey, Omar, if you there, are you there,
Yeah, I
brother?
was. Yeah,
Can you get Daniel 4 Baba Kishar?
yeah,
Hey, so I want to just on the comment board.
yeah. Ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 4, verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers
Mm-hmm.
and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men.
That's right. So Babylon, which America is modeled after, all right, America is called the daughter of Babylon. In this time period, all right, Belshazzar was ruling, and the Lord had sentenced him to basically death and his kingdom to be taken over by the Medes, which in this time period is Russia. So we see certain things, these events are playing out again. In different empires, similar events are playing out in this kingdom. All right, Esau was his pride. Can we get Obadiah 1? You know, Esau his pride. And can we get Isaiah 48 and real quick as well? Belshazzar had pride. His pride was to the moon. And the Lord sought to bring him down. But first he blasphemed um, the holy things of the temple. He used that to have a feast, trying to say that he's in control. He's the God on the earth. All right, the Lord brought him down, and Esau's doing the same thing. What's one of the things that Esau's doing that's sacrilege? It's this MOTB. He's causing everybody to deny the Lord, and you see it in the people. The people are becoming a lot more faithless, less. They're having less faith. You talk to your normal Jake now, you know, normal Jake doesn't believe in God. You know, he might say he believes in God, but you know, his actions tell another story. You start telling him, all right, the Bible says this, all right, the scriptures say that, the holy word says this, they don't want to hear it. But they can um they can listen to Lil Uzi Vert, who's a Satanist. You know, they can listen to all these rappers who breed death, man. These guys breed death. Um, you know, you got it.
All right, this is
Who was that? Isaiah?
no Obadiah.
Over the icon.
All right, and the heading before I read it says Edom will be humbled. Obadiah 1 verse 1, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord power concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made Esau, Salaki, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring thee down to the ground?
That's right. And at that time, that was what Belshazzar was saying. And right now, that's what America's saying. You know, with all the chaos and stuff going on in America, America still has pride. The people of America still has pride that this place is the greatest empire, greatest country on the face of the earth. That's what they always say. You talk to your average Edomite, and that's what he's going to say. You talk to your average Edomite, you know, if you disagree with this place being the greatest country on the planet Earth, all right, he's going to tell you to go back to Africa. You know, he's going to tell you, did not you benefit from being here? You know, no. All right, we didn't benefit from being here. I mean, Esau benefited from us being here. All right, if not for the Israelites made this place great. The enslavement and forced labor of the Israelite made this place great. And more so than just that, you go into all the inventions and stuff like that. Israelites, you go back into Rome, it was the Israelites that made that place great. You go back into the Babylonian period, man, it was the Israelites that made Babylon great. All right, Babylon wasn't great until they had their hands on Israel. So at that period in Daniel 4, Belshazzar was being put down, and the Medes were going to come in and take over. All right, and the Lord said this decree was by the watchers, right, to show that the Lord ruleth in the kingdom of men, and all this was done, right? Let's get Romans 9:17 real quick, because all this was done to show the power in the Lord, and it's going to be done again. It's going to be done in America to show His power. And after that, we'll move on to Nero, Galba, the year 4 emperors and stuff like that.
All right. All right. This is Romans chapter 9 and verse 17. It says, "For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for the same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. Therefore hath he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will he hardeneth."
That's right. So Lord raises these kingdoms up, so when He takes them down, His name is declared throughout the earth. All right, He's going to do it with America. He's done it with Sodom and Gomorrah. He's done it with Babylon. He's done it with Rome. All right, Rome didn't fall until Christianity rose up. So-called Christianity, but really, it was the truth coming up, man. You got Apostle Peter, Apostle Paul, Apostle John, other apostles. They were putting in work. They was putting in work, and that's when Rome fell. A.D. 100, around that time. All right, Jake started ruling, but you go back into 470, 480. That's when they recorded that Rome fell, but that's just when they assimilated into the country of Italy, pretty much. But before that, Rome had already fallen to Jake. And that's what's going to happen again, pursuing the second Ezra 6 and 7. All right. The hand that held the heel of Esau. All right, that was Jacob. The power is going to be given to Jacob. It's going to be that transition, but it's got to be done. All right, with the fall first, man, because Esau's haughty, right? Esau's prideful, so he has to have a hearty fall, right? He has to have a long fall, and that's what's happening right now. This is the fall of Esau. Esau's losing power as we speak, but it starts with the circus act, which is happening in politics right now. There's more to that, right? Romans 9.
It goes into the potter and the clay. Let's see. It says, verse.
No, that's fine. We got the point. Out the water, bro. So Nero and Trump. All right. So on this website called the Medium, right? They have the 6 startling similarities between Donald Trump and Roman Emperor Nero to further cement the point that where things aren't changing. All right, there's no evolution of man. Things happen over and over again, right? Just like it happened the Roman times, the Greeks, it's going to happen here in America, Babylon the Great. And really, this place, America, Babylon the Great, is an embodiment of all the rebel empires. It's an embodiment of all the rebel empires on the face of the earth. You talk about Egypt, Sodom and Gomorrah, Greece. I said Greece, but the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire. You said Nineveh?
Yeah.
Nineveh, all right. Samaria. All these rebel empires, right? This is what America embodies. It's the chief place of, it's the border of wickedness. Right. Going back into Malachi 1 and 4. Now let me read this article. I'll show you the picture. This is the same image from the Elder Apostle Tahar's video. It says, former American President Donald Trump requires no introduction. Trump definitely left his mark on contemporary history. On the other hand, Roman Emperor Nero requires a bit of introduction. No, we don't have to do that. It says, all right. This is talking about Nero. It says, throughout his reign, Nero spent the state budget lavishly on himself. In 64, 2/3 of Rome burned down in a 9-day-long fire. Nero used the cleared land to build himself an enormous palace, Domus Aurea. He blamed Christians for the fire and started first persecution against the Christians. So Nero, he burned down parts of Rome to build his lavish home, his lavish palace, and he blamed the Christians. And it started. Well, really, Christians were getting persecuted before that. Christians were getting they were getting stoned before that. You go back to what happened with what's his name, Slovakia. Y'all know. Paul was there during his stoning.
Stephen.
Stephen. know what happened with Stephen, because being a follower of the Lord constituted treason. They thought it was treason, and even our people thought it was blasphemy, right? But in this time, um, it was a major thing, because you had the Sakari. They were daggering men. They were daggering Roman soldiers, Roman military that was tasked with overseeing Judea. And then you had this fire that was blamed on the Christians, people that believed in the Lord. Let's see, okay, oh man, all right, Shalaki, y'all. Can't even read the full story. You got to sign up with an account. Let me see something real quick. I'll see if I can log in. All right, here we are. It says this is the first comparison to America. I mean Trump to Nero. It says authoritarian tendencies. The Roman Emperor Nero was infamous for his persecution of political opponents. He also blamed minorities, especially Christians, for the Great Fire in Rome. Trump was accused of undermining democratic norms and institutions. He regularly discredited the media. Trump used his position as president to bully and intimidate opponents and journalists. All right. Megalomania. Both Nero and Trump were notorious for lavish displays of their wealth. So we know that Trump, he used the government, the government money, so that he can live. I think he lived in his Trump Tower during his presidency. And at one point, his wife lived somewhere else, and he lived another place. So that was further, using the budget, the government's budget, so that he could live in places that were not designed for him to live in as a president. They had to hire more security, more Secret Service. It was a money pit. But also, Trump and Nero were notorious builders. They loved to build. All right. Nero tried to build the Colosseum. All right. Nero built his palace. Trump has a palace. He has a Trump Tower. Okay. Trump tried to build the wall, right? The wall around America. So this is another um, comparison. They have flamboyant personalities. So their personalities are bigger than life. These guys, you can if you were to hear them speak, they would be recognizable without you seeing them. Everybody knows about Trump, and back then everybody knew about Nero, and they had something to say about it, good or bad. Controversial statements. They both had controversial statements between the two, using political positions to enrich themselves. I'll say one thing that Trump did. He had this. It's like a golf course. I forgot what it's called. What's the golf course that Trump has? You know, brother? Come on.
I'm not, I'm not sure.
He's got a private hotel. I think it's in Florida. But he used his political position to generate revenue for that resort that he has. I forgot what it's called. Fancy name.
Something like Mar-a-Lago or something.
Trump National Golf Club Charlotte or something?
Nah,
No, that's not it.
nah. They say mastery of propaganda. That's another one. But if you look up this article right here, it's an article on the Medium. You know, we're not going to read it all. It says the 6 startling similarities between Trump, Donald Trump, and Emperor Nero. All right, if you look that up, you can read that for yourself. But one thing I want to speak about is Galba, Emperor Galba. And right after Nero, Emperor Galba, he promised unity. He promised that they would work together, that the country would work together to be better. A lot of what Trump, I said Trump, a lot of what Nero did during his reign, Galba kind of annulled it. You know, he passed laws to get rid of Nero's what Nero instituted, and he led his campaign. He was a general, but he led his political campaign. He was also a politician. He led his political campaign, promising unity, and he promised that to the barbarians at the time that was attacking the Roman provinces, because they were on the outs. They were on the outside. You know, they lived a certain way, and they also Roman provinces were getting so big. The Romans were taking up the lands that they once occupied. That sound familiar to you? That sounds like what's happened to Native American, our Native American, so-called Native American brothers and sisters. Sounds like what happened to our Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters that lived and dwelt on this land freely before America was here, before America was established. So the barbarians, they kind of assimilated. They ended up assimilating with Rome, but before they assimilated, they were attacked. But they were attacked, and some were massacred. A lot were massacred and killed. You know, men were taken. Women were taken and raped and ravished and things like that. And we see that stuff happening right now in the borders of America. All right. What's the Democratic Party saying? Oh, come to America. Come to America. You know, what's the Republicans saying? All right, the conservatives saying, don't come to America. You know, stay out of America because you're taking the jobs that we could have. And back then, during the Roman time period, the barbarians, when they assimilated into the Roman provinces, they took jobs that the Romans didn't want. Now that sounds familiar too. And they were seen as second-class citizens as well. So we starting to see similarities again. Um, can you point out? Was it 10? Right? It was 10.
Yeah.
Can you go into that article real quick? Oh, but before that, I said God, but He promised unity. Um, can we get Ecclesiastes 12 and 11? You got it? Brother went. Brother froze again. You got it, bro?
Yeah, I was trying to get it on my phone, but I
Oh,
don't
it's
know
all
if
good.
y'all can.
You got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to just start at 10?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
That's right. So, all right, Esau Edom being our enemy, man. When he promises you peace, when he promises you good things, man, never trust him because inwardly, all right, he's rusted. He's rusty, man. He's a rusty piece of metal. He's wicked. He can't altogether hide his wickedness. You got it, bro.
Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. Thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away.
That's right. You can't make Esau Edom good. You know. Keep going. Is it more?
Verse 13, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a certain serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts?
Okay, that's it, man. Let's see. It's in Isaiah. I'm forgetting the scripture, man. Where it talks about, he's ready to stab you in the back, pretty much.
You talking about his words were smoother than butter?
Con.
Psalms.
Psalms. Can we get that real quick? Because that's what it was all about. He had smooth words for the people to kind of bring them in. And when he brought them in, he massacred them.
Right. Yep.
He massacred them. They ravished the women. They displaced the children. And what are they doing at the borders of America right now? They're displacing the children. All right. They're killing a lot of immigrants. All right. They're not telling you that they are, but they are. They've been doing it for hundreds of years, man. You see all those bodies, those they. I remember at one time there was an article they found like 200 remains of dead bodies on the border of America. 200 skeletal remains. All right, that was just in that one spot. So they kill you at the border, man.
You ready?
You got it.
All right, Psalms 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
And that, to me, sounds like Biden. See, Biden, how he came up in his campaign, he was talking unity. We need to unify America, blacks and whites, you know, stuff like that. And he was saying that because he knows that the white population, they're dwindling. All right, they're dying more so than they're reproducing. So with that, he knows that there's going to be a brown takeover. There's going to be a so-called brown takeover. They're going to be the minority pretty soon. And, and he's thinking about his children. He's like, listen, I don't want these people to come at my children. But inwardly, with those smooth words, but inwardly, this man is ready to stab you in the back. He has war in his heart. And what's part of that war? All right, this coming lockdown. We the MOTB, the what is it? The juice.
Shit, these FEMA camps.
All right, the FEMA camps are coming. The brother said the FEMA camps. What else, bro?
I mean, shit. Pretty much the lockdowns. You said it. I mean, shit. You pretty much named it. You know. Yeah, you pretty much named it. Everything.
So all of this is coming to America, Babylon the Great, and guess where it happened first? It happened first during Galba's reign in Rome.
I got something for you too. This is Psalm chapter 10, verse 2. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. All right. And the wicked is talking about Esau. All right. The poor is the Israelites. All right. Because we're in the lowest estate that we have ever been. All right. You look at the so-called black man, you know, the woman is even above him. All right. It says, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. All right. So the wicked, me and Esau, have setting up certain traps and snares for, you know, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And an example of that is going back to 2020 when they had that pandemic coming out, when they had that so-called vaccine shot available. Now, if anybody has common sense, you know, if a so-called pandemic was that bad, they wouldn't be willing to give out some type of vaccine for free. And the main people that they wanted to take that so-called juicy juice was the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and that's a snare. All right, the MOTB is going to be a major snare because in order to buy and sell, to get your basic necessities on an everyday basis, you gotta take that subdermal implant, and a lot of Jake is going to be deceived. That's why the scriptures say, you know, if it was all possible, the elect will be deceived. All right. Verse 3, for the wicked boasteth in his heart's desire, and it says, blessed the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Lord. The Lord is not in all his thoughts. And why is that? Because Esau considers himself a god. All right, the whole NWO agenda is to get rid of us. All right, get rid of the word. All right, which the famine of the word is soon coming, but that's a part of, you know, his NWO. Is getting rid of all religion, all Bibles, all of that. And that's what's coming to America pretty soon. Well, really not just America, but globally.
That's right. See, Galba became a dictator. You know, once he was given the power, he became a dictator. He was elected by the Praetorian, basically the Praetorian establishment. You go out and search up Praetorian, right? What they did, they was basically they were kingmakers. So what does that sound like? That sounds like the elites, man.
Yeah.
The elites were the kingmakers, man. These, you know what? It's not the elites, But it's like these corporations that fund political figures.
Right.
They give money to political figures, all right, and they kind of they swing the election their way,
Right.
all right. In the end, the grand scheme of things is the elites,
Right.
but these corporations they do the dirty work of the elites, right? They like uh like big pharma.
Right.
What does big pharma do? They make the people sick.
So they can make money.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to all the brothers on the color board. All right, they make the people sick. What does fast food do?
Make people obese.
Make people obese and sick. All right, so
Yeah.
these corporations, they don't do good for us. They further our dependence on them rather than us being what's it called? What's the word called?
Self-sufficient.
Sufficient.
Or
Well, yeah, self-sufficient. Having I think that's the word. It's an S word. I'm losing it.
I think I know.
You know,
what you're
for
talking
us,
about too, yeah.
for us having our own, you know, being by ourselves, man. You know, relying on the land that we own. We don't own
Yeah.
anything anymore. Why? Because these corporations, they buy it all. The states.
Bill Gates.
So that was the Praetorian faction during the Roman period, and they pretty much put God would empower through the Senate, and that's what happened with Biden. Everybody loved Biden as a political figure. He was, you know, the black people loved him, right? Because he was vice president to Obama. You know, you saw this, you know, Jakes.